morning. Parenting autism here with the Shepherd family. I am enjoying myself some coffee to kind of start the morning here. But this is the video that I've been wanting to make after our Illinois trip. Just kind of explain how everything went. Honestly, at the airport, we got there and just being nervous and everything, I forgot to request Drew's gate pass so he can accompany us. So we got all the way to security only for me to remember, hey, you need a gate pass. So we both went back to the gate, and TSA was very nice in letting us through from that, F up that I did. So we went back, got that pass, went back through security, well, only to get to security and realize that the pass for my husband, they made it under my name. So I decide I'll just go through, you go back, have that adjusted, and then go back through security. So that's 3 times that my husband had to go through security. 4, if you want to count him going, all the back and forth. Anyways, that was crazy. Well, once I go through security, my husband's getting his pass. I'm carrying the girls, and I have Brian, and the girls are in the stroller, and Brian's with me. Well, they want me to get the girls off of the stroller so that they can check the stroller. I can't carry 2 kids. I can't carry a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old who have low muscle tone, so feel super massively heavy, and I just can't do it. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just wait for my husband, because they were just not budging on making accommodations. The lady obviously saw I was irate and upset, and so she went apparently and talked to her boss, who said, yes, we're okay, yes, we'll figure things out, we'll make exceptions. So they let me take one girl off by one while they check that seat, sit her down, get the other one off, check that seat, put her back. Then they check the milk, like always, liquids, whatnot. Boom, we've got through. And my husband, after a long while, made it. Well, we were already at the gate. So when we got to the gate there, it didn't take very long before we started to have to board. Especially because we were family of special needs who needed extra time to sit. Right when we start to walk onto barely leaving through the tunnel, the girls go completely crazy. They are just scared. They don't know what's going on. Everything looks scary to them. We go through the gate, go through the tunnel. The girls are going crazy. I know someone joined. She came and found me in the kitchen. And they're going crazy. So then I'm carrying, our personal bags and these kids, and I'm just like kind of going in circles, like I don't know what to do. So I take one kid, leave the other one in the stroller, have one of the flight attendants watch her, and then I put Natalie down, and then I run over, and then I go get Chloe. And when I go back to sit Chloe down, after I have Brian sitting and Natalie down, Natalie's screaming, crying, and then this one's crying because we're in the plane and it's enclosed, and they are going nuts. But nicely, a lady saw that I was struggling. She helped me bring some of the bags, and she was just like, I will watch, help you out throughout the flight. I'll check up on you. So that was fantastic. Also, the lady who was sitting in the window seat sitting with us, thank you to her so much. I wish I knew her name, but it was just so hectic when I got off the flight over there that I didn't even get a name from her, but I did hug her and thank her. But there were so many helpful ladies on this flight. There was a nurse there. Shout out to her, whoever she was. I really appreciate you, all of you guys, for helping out with that very difficult flight, because the girls were very, very upset, throughout the whole flight. There was nothing really that comforted them. So it was the most stressful flight that I've ever experienced. And honestly, I learned ways on my way back on how to kind of do things. We land in Illinois. We get there. I'm unloading. The girls again screaming because people are offering to help me. So I bring Chloe to get in the stroller and open the stroller. The lady helps me open the stroller. I put Chloe in. Brian stays with Natalie, And by the time I go back to get Natalie, one of the ladies is helping me carry her, and Natalie is screaming because this lady has, is holding her and touching her, and she doesn't like that. But this lady was being helpful, so I'm not going to say, hey, don't touch my child. They're helping me, and I appreciate all of their helps. I mean, it was so many ladies that helped. I appreciate every single one of them. Even the ones that offered and didn't, I appreciate it. But we got off the flight, got the girls on the stroller. By that moment, they're screaming, crying. I'm crying. And I get out, and apparently my sister saw David Dobrik. So she was taking her pictures. She was, going crazy over that. Super excited. So it was nice of them to take a picture with her. And then she sees me get off. Apparently she was having an interaction with the lady at the gate, telling her that she's there to help me, that my children have special needs, to which this lady from United was giving my sister in a way a hard time, saying, I'm going to need to see her tickets when she gets off. And my sister's like, that's fine, that's no problem, and I honestly, what more do you want, lady? If my sister's telling you that someone's getting off with special needs, no one's going to just lie about that. I'm sure there's people who lie, and it sucks because they ruin it for those of us who do have children with special needs, who do need that assistance. And for you to do that, that's not okay. That's not helpful. Don't do that. Be helpful when someone is telling you that they have family with special needs who are flying in. So I didn't like that. I was pretty upset about that, but my sister didn't tell me this until after. So when I get off the flight, I'm in tears. I mean, the girls are screaming. I'm upset. Brian's following along with us, and my sister tells the lady at the gate, the United employee at the gate, look, that is her. Like, do you need to see her tickets? And I turn and I look at her, and I am just a mess. I mean, I was crying, tears everywhere. I mean, I was covered in Oreos, and I was a mess. And she saw me, one look at me, and she said, no, you guys are good, have a good day. Okay, the thing that upset me about that is you should not have to see a parent completely broken down for you to say, oh, okay, yeah, let's make it easier, you're fine, go ahead, I don't need to see your tickets. That is not okay. That I can't even express how upsetting that is for her to have done that. Like, you should not have to wait, okay? And United can learn from this and train their employees better. That, that really hurt. The fact that she had to see me completely broken down, crying, and see my children are screaming and completely upset for her to make things easier on us. That is not okay. The whole point is to make it easier so things don't get to that point, okay? And there was no United employee on the flight that even cared to say, is there anything we could do, that we can help? Nothing. Maybe they didn't know, that's fine. But if you see someone like that that is struggling with their children, and they're alone with 3 kids, 2 small children, it'd be nice for you to say, is there anything we can do to help? Anything, that there's nothing. Like, it's like United is not trained in these things. I don't know. So it was very frustrating. Either way, whatever, we got to Illinois. We, surprised my nephew. Well, he was surprised. He surprised us. We were supposed to surprise him when he got home, but he got home earlier. So I didn't get any videos of him, being surprised or anything, because he honestly got home early when we expected him later, so I didn't get to record. So we missed on that, but we had a great time. He was super happy we were there. And that was the whole point of this trip, was to surprise him, for him to be happy that we were there and visiting. So there as well, as I believe I've said before, my mom has a fractured vertebrae, is what we were aware of, but it's not a fractured vertebrae. But while we were there, she had a lot of pain. I mean, this was unbearable pain. She could not take it anymore. Being that recreational cannabis is allowed in Illinois, we went to the dispensary and we got her some edibles. We got her gummies, and she ate those, and she said that it helped. You know, she's taken so many different medications at this point that I told her a while back, before even saying yes to that why not? You know, if it's going to help you, why not? If it helps you better or helps you take less pain medication, what's stopping you, you know? So, and with her being Hispanic and growing up in a Hispanic family, that's not okay, you know? Oh my God, you know, her doing that, oh, everybody drug addict. That's not how it is, you know? It helps her, and if it helps her just like it helps anybody else, why not? You know, do what you need to do to make yourself feel better. So we went to the dispensary, got her that. It helped her, but obviously it's not going to take away all the pain, because it wasn't a fractured vertebrae. She indeed has cancer. So anyways, we'll know more from that in 3 weeks. And so while we were there as well, on a different day, I was sleeping in the basement at my sister's house, and I can't remember what I sent him down, and he went down there to get something, one of his toys or something that was downstairs, and you guys, he fell, okay? He fell from the stairs. These stairs are very steep, and the saddest thing for me was that I was in the living room when he went to the basement, so it was a bit away, and he fell. We didn't hear anything, so it wasn't something like massively severe, but he did fall back. So he slipped, he said, with his socks, he slipped on one of the stairs, and he pretty much went down and slid on his back. So he had bruising on his back, and it hurt. But the saddest part was that we were in the living room when this happened. I heard a squeal, but I wasn't sure what that was. So I asked my nephew, I said, did you make that sound? And he's like, no. And then I heard a squeal again. By the time I heard that second squeal, it just clicked. He didn't call for help, you know, and that's one of Brian's things, is that he has no self-help skills, especially with verbal communication. He's not very good about communicating pains, discomforts, uncomfortable situations, that he's hungry, that he needs to use the restroom, things like that. He does not communicate that. But for me to have seen it to where it's this bad, to where he didn't even call for help, that he fell. He didn't even say mom. He squealed twice. It was so sad. It broke my heart, because if something is to happen to him, like he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't call for help, and that just, it scares me. And that's obviously something to learn from, to talk to him and let him know, hey, when something happens, please call for help, just like I've been talking to him about stranger danger. So it was very, very scary. Later on in the day, because again, he was sick while we were there, later on in the day, he did have a nosebleed. But it is really cold in Illinois, and there's a lot of wind, which is very dry, and so I think he just had a dry nose, because he said he didn't hit his head, it was just his back. So I did get worried if it was like a head injury and that caused the nosebleed. So we kind of observed him, and he said he didn't hit his head, he said just his back. So he eventually talked to me about it and told me what happened and showed me on the stairs where he fell. So it was honestly very, very, very scary. But anyways, we had a crazy time. It was fun, but also while we were there, my brother-in-law, had an accident, and then someone else almost hit my sister. I mean, it's crazy. There was just so much that happened with like bad stuff, like accidents wise, whether it's with the car or someone getting hurt. And just getting there was just so terrible that I was just thinking in my mind, oh my God, like, can things just get a little positive for us, But after that, we, had a really good time, and then it was time to come back home. And at that point, we got more prepared. My sister, thankfully, thank you to her, she bought headphones for Chloe, so that way she had music rather than just the noise canceling headphones, because they've been bothering her on her head. And she left those on. She was listening to, watching a movie, everything. It was, the ride home was fantastic. United in Illinois, let me tell you, was much, much more accommodating than it here in Arizona. It's fantastic. They gave us seats that were all together. They, when we got there, we told them that there was disabilities. They were on it. They got everything taken care of. My sister's gate pass was done correctly. So everything just went a lot more smoother. When I got into when I got to the gate, we had talked to a guy which said she could walk me all the way through the tunnel. My sister could help me through the tunnel. Then the other lady at the gate said, no, that's incorrect. So that would have been nice for people to kind of just get on the same page. So people are communicated, passengers are communicated the correct information so that we're not told one thing and not the other. You know, it's good to keep everything consistent everywhere, and then customers won't have so many complaints, because if you keep everyone trained consistently and everyone gets the same experience, what are people going to complain about if it happens exactly the same everywhere? So that's a good tip for them, is to train their employees, especially when it comes to special needs. Anyways, I was very kind of sad that my sister wasn't able to help me, because that's where I have the most difficult time, is the loading and leaving a kid behind. But the reason why I say United in Illinois is much better help, and the flight attendants were much better help, was because one flight attendant in specific told me, let me help you. She helped me with a bag. She told me she'd watch, one of the girls when I loaded the other one. And even at the end, she helped me with the bag. I mean, she was on it. She was fantastic. And I overheard her say that this was the first flight she's had in a while that's been over 2 hours. So she obviously does much shorter flights, but I was very thankful that she was on that flight, because she was on it. She was checking on me and helped me in and out of the flight. So it was fantastic. The kids were great. They had a good time. They slept. Chloe slept for a good portion of it. Natalie slept for a portion. Brian slept. I mean, it was fantastic. It was a lot better. So make sure you've got music. Make sure you've got headphones. And honestly, I overpacked for this flight, which I didn't need to. And so next time I'm gonna pack less. Check all bags in. Any bags you have, just have the backpack that you need with the stuff, and that's it. Don't bring more things for you to carry, even though it's going to save you money, because it's a personal item rather than checking it in. Trust me, from my experience, check those bags in. You want to worry about getting your kids out and in out of that flight, your stroller, and the one bag that you should have with all the diapers, things that you need. Keep it minimal. And so with everything going on, I had hand sanitizer, sanitizing wipes, all sorts of things. So that is one good tip, is to keep all that stuff minimal, so that way you don't have any issues, things go smoother. So that was great. I minimized and things went fantastic. Anyways, then my husband picked us up. Apparently our gate info had changed for him, so he was kind of back and forth trying to find us, so he was frustrated with that. But then we eventually met up, and then we made our way to parking. And let me tell you, he parked in he took the wrong exit or whatever, parked at the wrong, it was a long walk, so I was exhausted. And we still had to walk, so I was a little upset there. But whatever, we got over it. We got home. He cooked delicious food. And it was just great to be back home. The kids were in their zone. They had their toys. They watched TV. And things kind of just normalized. I felt a little bit less on my shoulders because Dad was here, so he helped out. And it was great. So overall, we had a wonderful time. I was very sad. I did cry when we were leaving. Because I do miss my sister. I love her so very much, and I'm so used to being close to my siblings that having her away is hard. So we're only like a year and a half apart, so about the same amount of time that Brian and her older son Caesar are, and they're just as close. I mean, they all get along so very well, and I just wish that we were closer so the boys could spend more time together, grow up together. But that's why we can travel back and forth, whether it's expensive or not. But we have to make sure that our children are close no matter how far they are, because family is important, and keeping the kids in touch with each other is also important, so that way when they do grow up, they are aware of each other, they love each other, and they miss each other, and it keeps them together. So family is important in us, in our family. And so yeah, anyways, thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't done so, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget, comment wherever you can. Any tips, things like that, or experiences that you've had. And we hope that you guys continue with us through this journey of parenting our children who have autism. And just know, once again, like I've always said, sometimes it feels like you're alone, and you feel like everything's like, is this just happening to me? Like, there's no way. Just know that you're not alone. We're all in this together. It feels hard. I know. I've been there. I go through it just about daily. Like I said, having kids with autism, every day is different. So, and you never know what to expect. So just stay strong. Know you're not alone. And stay with us, and we can do this together. So once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And we will catch you guys on the next vlog. Bye.